Hey, good morning, everyone. We're like 2 weeks away from dove season, so I'm out here this morning doing some final testing. And actually, by request, I'm going to be doing something a little different today. And I didn't talk to him about using his name, but a great supporter of the channel and listener of the Dove Guy podcast brought up steel shot. Now, being a duck hunter myself, I avoid steel shot whenever I have the chance. But I know in a lot of places you are required to hunt with steel shot regardless of the species now. And like he brought up, he's doing it for his health. He doesn't like eating meat that's been shot with lead either. So he switched over to steel shot. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. So today I've got a box of this Winchester Expert Game and Target steel, and it's a high velocity steel shot. So you know I'm a little skeptical already with the high velocity. It's a 2 3/4 inch shell, and it's shooting 1 ounce of 7 shot at, again, about 1,325 feet per second, according to the box. Now, 7 shot is a really cool size, and I'm a really big fan of 7 shot in lead, and I think that's a great all-around shell. If you're going to be out hunting doves and have the chance at quail, even, you know, pheasants and stuff like that, I think if you're just going to buy one shell to shoot out of your gun, I really like a lead number 7. And I'm thinking they had to go a little bigger than 7.5 because steel shot needs all the help it can get when it comes to killing power. So I'm really curious to see how this patterns, because ultimately that's what's going to make the most difference. And if it patterns halfway decent, I might give it a try this dove season just to say I did it. But that's the first test I'm doing today. I've got a nice clean slate for it to give it the best chance possible to impress me. I'm not going to lie, I'm going into this with a little bit of bias. I'm not thinking it's going to, but for those of you that choose to hunt with steel shot or are required to by law, here it is, Winchester Expert Game Target. Let's get shooting. All right, so 25 yards again, as always. I'm using the trusty Franke Intensity Winchester Expert Steel, shooting 7 shot at about 1325. Let's see what it does. I'll tell you one thing, that's a spicy round. That kicked a lot harder than any dove shell I've shot in a very long time. From here, it looks like it's a decent pattern. All right, so what I will say is it looks pretty consistent. And like it kind of expected though, speeding up that steel, it seems to be a pretty tight pattern. I purposely set an empty can of paint out here just to see how wide my patterns were getting today, and it all seemed to go right on that gong there, which is pretty cool. But again, I'm shooting an improved cylinder at 25 yards. So a couple gaps. Sorry, my mind's all over the place this morning. A couple gaps in there, but not bad. Definitely a tight pattern, but that would kill a bird if you connected for sure. All right, I can't help it. I want to see when this pattern opens up. I'm at 40 yards now with the steel shot Winchester Expert. Let's see if this opens up any. That looks like a pretty good pattern. Pick up your shells. So a lot of what I was seeing was just the old shells. As you can tell, as this paint gets thicker, it gets harder for me to cover it up between shots. But that did open up quite a bit. It might not be the prettiest pattern, some holes right there. But overall, you would probably connect at that 40-yard range. So pattern did open up quite a bit. It did knock over my can. Oh yeah, right through the top there. And then one dented right there, but did not penetrate an empty spray paint can at 40 yards. So take that for what it's worth. Well, I'm still a little bit on the fence with this steel shot, and I understand some people have to, and you know, if it's a health choice, by all means. From what I'm shooting, and again, I didn't put a whole lot into it. I didn't go through all my chokes and all that. It seems to pattern okay. I think it's sufficient. My theory is that it's going to compare pretty well to just your normal Walmart value pack lead rounds. but I wasn't sold on it either. I'd like to do some penetration tests with it and just see how much it's going to penetrate, how much energy those pellets are carrying, because steel is just not as dense as lead, and that's my biggest issue with it, and that's why I like a lot of the other steel alternatives that are non-lead. Problem with that, obviously, is the cost. So I think it's a decent option. It's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst. So take that for what it is. I'm going to get back to some more tests, and until next time, keep your shots high, be safe out there.